Hey guys, welcome back to the greenhouse. Today we're in Algoma and we're with Matt Fay. He was a part of our rookie patch tour and he's going to show us his patch, where he's at now. How'd he do? So stay with us and Doug, don't eat that pumpkin. All right, Matt. So you have two very, very nice looking fruit here. And if I remember correctly, this was the Gantner that we moved, right?
That is correct. That's the 2152 Gantner that was just a little offset, so we pulled it back and moved it to the left a little bit for better alignment.
And did you ever have to move it again after that?
I did not. I just made sure that it didn't grow over the vine and there was no kinks and just let it go.
And yeah, this is both these fruit are very, very good looking fruit. They're nice and orange, and they're going to be very, very good genetics on these seeds, I'm guessing. And then you had a couple problems this year that you learned a lot.
Absolutely. On the 2152 plant, I got a foaming stump, and after watching your videos, I did kind of the exact same thing. I went in and I made an incision and cleaned out all that foam and got the peroxide, was out there every day, twice a day, cleaning it out, and got a fan on it, and it slowed down a little bit, but it's still growing.
That's all that matters. It's good if you can have them putting on pounds in mid-September. So you're doing something right. And this fruit is 900 pounds to 1,000 pounds, I'm guessing.
Somewhere right around there, yeah.
Somewhere right around there. You have a lot more foliage since I've been here. You just kind of let the plants grow, which is fine. Maybe once you get your greenhouse up.
Yep, that's the plan for next year. I plan on putting a greenhouse over the half this patch of 28 by 60, growing 2 plants in the greenhouse, and then some of my kids want to grow their own pumpkin outside the greenhouse, so I'll help them with that.
So yeah, when you get that greenhouse, we'll have to do more vine management. Otherwise, the entire greenhouse is gonna be full of vines. And
after the layoff, with I have 9 kids, so with school starting, everything got crazy. So I just made sure the fruit were taken care of, and I could just let the plants do what they wanted to do, and the weeds, as you can see, did what they wanted to do with all the foliar feedings and watering. They grew just as good as the pumpkins did. So
very good. So let's go over here by the clements, and I want to show them close up of this color, and then maybe we'll go around and look at your watering system. Look at that color. Isn't that beautiful? That's a clement seed, the 1279. The 1279.
It's a 1279 cross with the 1501 Vanderway.
Wow, look at that. That's crazy. That's a good looking fruit. So, and then your leaves right here. So you guys, this is powdery mildew. And you see how it's through the entire plant. That mildew, it impedes the plant's photosynthesis, so it ends up killing that leaf, essentially. So my plants right now have powdery mildew as well. It's getting late in the year, and just kind of letting things go. I'm doing the exact same thing. If you had a extremely good plant, at this point in the year, maybe go through and hit some hard fungicides on that PM. Otherwise, I mean, we got weigh-offs coming up here in a couple weeks.
Every Saturday now, all the way through the middle of October.
Yeah, every Saturday you'll be weighing a fruit. So, it's not the end of the world if you have a little bit of PM here. Powdery mildew in September, like he has here. He does have a lot of good leaves still. I can see he has a lot of young foliage over here. So that's more than enough to supply the energy to this fruit. So, all right, we're going to go over by his watering system, and I'm going to have him explain his fertilizing routine and how he waters these plants. So we'll head on over. So we're going around, and Matt's just showing me all of his porch sitters, and he pointed out he's growing a pumpkin on top of his watering system. That one's
going to be an award winner right there.
Yeah. So you have two 250-gallon totes. Similar to Matt, similar to Mike Schmidt, and you have them painted black.
Correct.
And for you that didn't watch the Mike Schmidt video, he paints them black to warm up the water, and plus it prevents algae from growing in the water, so it keeps the water clean. So go ahead and explain your fertilizing routine and maybe how much water you're given and whatnot.
Well, what I was doing was I would fill this higher tote with just straight water, and I would fill up my barrel with 50 gallons of water, and any fertilizer that I was going to add, I did 5 times the strength to equal the 250 gallons in here. So then I would just pump that into the lower tank, and this one would flow into that tank, so all my fertilizers were mixed right in the central unit with minimal effort. And then I had a 1 horsepower sprinkler pump, which you really can't see right here.
Okay. Yep. I see it.
And I had a 4 hose timer on there, so every day around 5 o'clock it would start, and each sprinkler would go off for 15 minutes, which would empty 250 gallons of water.
Gotcha. So you're putting about 250 gallons on this patch on any given day, roughly?
Every day when there's no rain. If there's rain,
Okay.
I'll wait till the rain's over, and then I'll wait a day so I don't oversaturate, and then I'll start up again.
Now, I know we went over your soil test this last winter, and you put a lot of nutrients in your soil, so your soil has a lot of nutrients in it. But what were you supplementing for nutrients in your watering drenches?
Well, I was using Mark Clemence's mixes, which he doesn't do, unfortunately, anymore. So in the beginning, I was using his Bloom and his Grow, and then towards the end, I was using the CalMag, a Root Keeper, and his Pumpkin Power. So that's kind of what I was doing, and I was supplementing some boron intermediately through because it seems no matter where I am in the Algoma area, my soil always lacks boron. So
Yeah, it's something I've learned throughout the years. So like if you take a soil test in the beginning of the year, and then after your pumpkins have grown on that soil, the nutrients that will be most depleted are boron, calcium, and potassium. Those are what your pumpkin crave. So it's important that you do put a supplement of like Mark's Pumpkin Power, which is a potassium-based fertilizer. So you're adding that extra potassium, and boron, like Matt was saying, he put boron in. Root Keeper is a giant bloom. That's a bloom and phase fertilizer. So when he was getting ready to pollinate beforehand, he was putting down a phosphorus fertilizer to get more pumpkins. So he had a higher probability of getting a pumpkin set. But yeah, focus on your potassium. That's good. Your boron was correct, and that calcium. So your patch looks very nice, Matt, and you're going to be putting a greenhouse up next year.
Yep.
Where are you going to be putting that?
Well, if you can see this patch, the whole patch is 60 feet wide by 90 feet long. So my plan is to go a 28 foot by 60 foot with two plants inside, and then 2 on the outside.
So you'll have two in the greenhouse and 2 outside the greenhouse.
Yep.
That'll give you a pretty good idea the disadvantages and advantages of a greenhouse.
Yeah.
And
well, before I grew out here, I was growing in a small greenhouse, which was 16 by 28, and always did 1 plant. And I had a personal best of 848 in the greenhouse, and I know for sure I'll have a personal best this year outside the greenhouse. But with all the elements always against you, it's better, I feel, to have more control of what's going on.
some years I think I should grow a couple outside the greenhouse as well, because some years you get that perfect year where you didn't have any storms and the weather was perfect, and then it seems like the pumpkins that were inside the greenhouse were at a disadvantage.
Right.
So sometimes it's nice, like you're gonna have 2 and 2, so you'll have the split probability of you're gonna have something good.
But hopefully. Well, being by the lake, literally right across the road, I'm always at a disadvantage to begin with. My growing season starts a lot later than most that's either south or west, because my temperatures are always cooler on the lake. So with having the greenhouse, I can keep that heated when everyone else is getting their plants in the ground, so I'll be able to keep up with everybody else. So we'll see.
So what was your personal best again? 800 and
848.
848. So you have 2 fruit back there that have a high probability, I believe, of topping your personal best.
Yep.
And I'm thinking you're gonna get over 1,000 pounds this year.
I'm hoping.
You're gonna be in the 4-digit club.
I
So
hope so. That would be nice. We'll see.
all right, guys. So what we're gonna do next is we're gonna head over to Bill's place, another one of the Rookie Patch Tour growers, and he's gonna show us his patch.
Yeah.
So we're gonna head on over and check him out.
Sounds good.
Okay, guys, here we are. We're at Bill's patch. He was our first stop on the Rookie Patch Tour earlier this year. And if you guys remember correctly, this is the fruit that we moved for him. So how's it doing now, Bill? What's she taping?
That's correct. I think it's very solid. I taped it about 2 days ago, and I thought I had about 730 on it, 735. So
I think
happy with it.
I think this one's gonna go about 800. Like we were talking, and we think this one's going heavy. So, Bill, what did you learn this year? What's your key takeaway?
I think I had my initial fertilization right. Because I did it for all my pumpkin fields here. I had put down fertilizer what was recommended from the UW. What I didn't do right away was my vines, I started going and out here on the hill they started blowing, and a lot of my vines got damaged early on and moved around. So I didn't really get them trained the way I should have. And things just started going every which direction. So I definitely know now to plant the plant there. Start my fruit out on the main vine out a ways and have everything trained and buried early on. So
I want to bring up something that I don't think I had in the other video. You inoculate your seeds, right? Before you plant them, you inoculate them with a fungicide, or is that an insecticide?
I do in my field pumpkins. I do an insecticide and a fertilizer in furrow when I'm planting them. And that was the insecticide I used kind of takes care of the cucumber beetles kind of season long for me.
Did you do the same thing to the Atlantic giants?
I did not on these, and I had cucumber beetles on these initially when I planted them, and I fought them for a couple weeks till I finally got them down. I did put that insecticide on, but it took a while for it to take. But since then I haven't had any problem.
Did you do any kind of fungicides on these plants?
Yeah, I've been spraying fungicide at least once a week on these. So,
okay.
There's no powdery mildew in here yet.
All right, so if you guys look at these leaves, he has no powdery mildew that I can see. Matt has his powdery mildew right now, which is fine. Again, I told you it's the end of the year. If you get powdery mildew, it's not the end of the world. But you can see he has no powdery mildew. But if you also look, you see how you have this rust, and do you see how you have this spotting right here? Normally, there's two things that causes this. Either it's cucumber beetles, or it's a heavy spray mixture, a hot spray mixture that was maybe sprayed in the afternoon. But I think this is cucumber beetle damage. So that's not a disease. When you look at these leaves and you see that little browning, that's not a disease. That's either cucumber beetles or it's a too hot of a spray during the.
I think I was overfeeding them for a while too, so I think that's where the scent of these plants have kind of died out like that.
Mm-hmm.
And now I have really not fed them for probably 2 weeks. We had some rain in here, so they're looking pale. They're along the edges. They're a little darker, but I think they need feed. But we're kind of at the end of the year, and it's like.
Exactly, that's where I'm at too. It's like I'm not feeding them and just letting them do their thing.
I have 35 acres of apples to pick and 20 acres of pumpkins to pick. So.
Well, we'll see the pumpkins over there. He has this entire field, all his pumpkins. He runs a big business here. It's not just pumpkins for him.
No.
But we'll take you over here, and I want to show you this long fruit. I don't know if you guys remember, but this fruit over here I really liked because it was really long. Let's go over there and check that out, Bill.
Okay, sounds good.
I got to get on this side to make it look bigger. It looks really long. I'm going to go like this. Look how long this fruit is. Look at that. That's all 5 feet long.
This one is taping 12 and a half feet circumference on it.
12 and a half feet, and it's taping just about 800, getting close to 800.
It should be very close to 800.
I love these.
Days, so.
Love these long fruit like this.
Channel thing a little bit. I don't know. I saw some of these split here, but they just healed right over. So.
Well, good.
Yeah.
You're gonna go to your first way off this year?
Yeah, I'm gonna go to Michigan. So
so
nobody go there, so I can get a higher score. Place higher.
Which fruit are you taking?
I'm busy with apples, so if I could take both, one could be an exhibit one, and the other exhibition or whatever, and whatever one. So I'm thinking, you think that one's gonna be a little heavier? I'm kind of in agreement. They're probably pretty close to the same weight. I don't know. So.
All right.
We'll see.
Well, good luck at Michigan. And we know you're getting a personal best.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Hopefully you big numbers on the scale. Thank you for the updated patch tour. We appreciate it. And there you guys go. There's our patch tour. Unfortunately, Chase was at school today, so we didn't get to go to his patch. But I am going to put a couple pictures right here. So he has a really nice fruit growing, a really pretty fruit, and he says it's over 800 pounds. So he did end up losing the other two fruit, or they didn't really produce anything, but he does have that one really good one going, so he did good there. So unfortunately, like I said, we couldn't get over to his patch. Thank you guys for watching the video today. I want to give a special thank you to Matt and Bill for their hospitality on our trip to Algoma and Dora County. They recommended this county state park for us to do our hike at, so we took the boys afterwards on this hike. We got like 3 weeks left in the growing year, and I'll probably end up doing 2 or 3 more videos. I got a couple way off videos coming up. Just kind of want to wrap up the season on a good note, and hopefully we'll be back next year with the greenhouse, and we'll try to get you a 2,000 pounder for sure next year. I don't think we're gonna be able to do it this year. You see my boy Doug right here. He loves the water. He's a good boy.